Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to something that's hanging around your house. We're doing stuff from home for a while. So this is for the 7th Sunday of Easter, or if you're looking for Ascension text children's sermons. I did that last week, so you can take a look at that. There's also on that same page, and then also on this page I'll include a link from a couple of years ago using a rubber band and it's a magic trick. So you can take a look at that, but that's for the Ascension text. This one, I'm looking at either the Acts text, which is the first lesson, or the gospel lesson out of John. So we're looking at the 7th Sunday of Easter. So here we are. So the first springboard I'm looking at has to do with, there's a good chance you might have toilet paper rolls around. Maybe. Maybe you have toilet paper cardboard tubes left over, or you have paper towel cardboard tubes, or you have a wrapping paper cardboard tube that you could cut into two and you could make goggles. You could make, not goggles, but you could make binoculars. Or maybe you have a pair of binoculars around. Or maybe you have a telescope. Or maybe you have a microscope. Maybe you have something that allows you to look, to gaze, to look out. Maybe you've got a deck where you can show the kid, oh, I am looking, I am gazing. Because the text has Jesus coming out, and then it's an Ascension text, but it's the Sunday after. It's like right in between. Ascension happened in the middle of the week, so you could either do it there, or it's still Ascension text where they're looking up. And you hear, what are you looking for? And well, this idea of looking out at Jesus, it seems to me, there's another way of looking at it to where we are looking out in the world and to see where we can see Jesus in this world, or we might be what people are looking for when they are looking for Jesus. That we might be Jesus in the world for our neighbor. Or as we hear, Jesus, when did we see you? Well, you saw me when you clothed the naked, when you fed the poor, when you visited the prisoners in prison, when you took care of the widow. All of those ways that we help the other give us a way of seeing Jesus. I love it. Or I've used this before, if you have somewhere in your toy drawer or your kid's toy drawer a kaleidoscope. You can make them. You can look online and make them. This is something that I'm remembering now, so I don't have the stuff together that you can make them, but you can find online this idea of looking and the kaleidoscope about how all of God's people make up the body of Christ and how we are different and beautiful and pieced together, and we make this fantastic rainbow or a bouquet of flowers. A rainbow of multiple colors, a bouquet of flowers, all these things, ways that we come together and we see Christ in this world, which is another springboard for the other idea I'm thinking about. So maybe a bouquet of flowers or a kaleidoscope might be the direction you want to go as a springboard, because the gospel lesson, I'm looking at the possibility, my springboard was going to be a recipe card, or is a recipe card, that all of the things that get put into a recipe that when it's all done and comes out on the other side, it's different and almost better than the sum of its parts. That we as people of God that have been called together in, with, and under, I'm almost using Luther's explanation of Christ being present in, with, and under the bread. Christ is present and God is present in, with, and under us as we are called together as people of God. The verse that says that I am in God and God is in me, and the followers are mine and yet they are God's, and all together in this kind of this interwovenness of being people of God and being used for God's work in the world as we see and we look to see where we find Christ, and we find Christ in our neighbor, but we also find Christ in us, in the church, gathered together, being people of God. I can't help but when I think about a recipe card and I think about talking about that, I think about Bruce Almighty. At the end of Bruce Almighty, where he's talking, there's the world's largest cookies, and he talks about how we are kind of like a recipe, that we're brought together, and it's a wonderful image of God's grace as we are brought together for the bettering of this world. So I hope one of those things can be a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon, and know that you are a joy for your kids. You are a gift to them, and so may you be for them the presence of Jesus, because you are, and they are so grateful to have you, as I am grateful that you are serving them and that you've stopped by here and that you're partners in this ministry with me. Thank you so much, and stay safe, wash your hands, and I will see you next week. Thanks.